What's up? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 3 of Photo Study. My name is Mars, aka Marty, and today we'll be diving into the work of Bruce Gilden. Let's get into it.
Misunderstanding in this world. People are hurting one another. I'm just a man with nothing else
You know what I'm saying?
but music.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now, Photo Study is a show where we dive into the work of great photographers from around the world. Today, we are focusing on the work of Bruce Gilden. Now, Bruce Gilden, he is a beast, okay? He is courageous and confident, and those are probably some of my two favorite attributes about him because he is not scared to get in a random stranger's face, put his camera in their face with the flash, and take a picture, right? I'm talking about a few inches. I'm talking about right with the 28mm lens most of the time. He's taking pictures very close to people's face. And he's getting reactions out of people's faces that you typically wouldn't see had you just did some kind of typical or standard street photography. He's created his own style with the flash, with the black and the white. Now he's doing more color, but he is a legend, right? Many fellowships, many grants. He's a Magnum photographer. He's one of the greats. What we'll be doing is looking at about 25 images or so, maybe less, maybe more. And what we're gonna do is talk about what makes that picture great, in my opinion, right? I'm no scholar. But to me, there's 5 key elements that make up a great image. And those 5 elements are the composition of a shot, the storytelling in the photo, the emotion/expression, the timing, and then your lighting and mood. Okay. Now, of course, there's other things that can, attribute to what makes a good photograph, but those are the main 5 things that I'm going to focus on in this genre, documentary and street photography style pictures. Okay. So with each image that I show you guys today, I'll be telling you what I like about it, and I'll be telling you which of the 5 elements I feel like stands out the most to me, right? So from there, we'll be able to learn and study and appreciate these great pictures from Bruce Gilden. Now, last thing, what else can I say? Bruce Gilden, born in like 1946, if I'm not mistaken, in Brooklyn, New York. He's a New Yorker at heart. Just his energy, his spirit. If you just Google any of the YouTube video about Bruce, you'll see that he has like a New Yorker spirit. He's very charismatic, and he just doesn't give a if I'm just calling a spade, he just don't give a and I like it. And there's things that we can learn from Bruce. But anyway, we're gonna dive into these pictures. These are some pictures that I hand selected from his website about a week or 2 ago. And I haven't had the time to actually study them or look at them. I just went through all the pictures on his website, and I chose the ones that stood out to me off of first initial reaction, right? So now I have a folder on my computer with around 25 images, and we're gonna go through these images now. So if we can go ahead and direct our attention to the screen here. This is our very first image. Yeah, perfect. Very first image. I mean, for me, this image has to be emotion/expression and storytelling. You see the lady on the far right with the bandage covering the other half of her face. It leads me to feel very curious. Like, what happened to her? You see the girl two people over. She has a smile on her face. So, was this like some kind of accident, or is this something that she knew was gonna happen? I don't know what happened. So my mind is curious. It makes me want to look at the image longer. This is kind of what you want in an image. You want an image that's like, when you look at it, you want to keep looking at it because you want to see if there's any detail in it that'll help you understand what's going on. And I don't think there is anything that can tell me what's going on. I don't know. Bruce would have to tell me himself what was going on for me to understand what was going on in this image. But I can tell you right now that the rule of odds. So the rule of odds is when you have an odd number of people in a photograph, because for some reason, having an odd number of people in a photograph makes it look better, apparently. So we have the rule of Oz. He has 3 young ladies here in the picture, one of them with a bandage on her face. And, you know, only thing I can really say for me is emotion and expression and storytelling and I guess timing and composition. I mean, this is a great image. Like, if I'm looking at this image, I don't know what's wrong. And then let's not mention that the girl in the middle, she's missing a few teeth. Now, what happened there? Maybe I don't know. I don't want to get myself too gone because this is just the first image. We have a lot of images to get through, but this is crazy. Is it not crazy? Let's keep moving along. The second image. Now, I love this image because, well, one, look how close he is. He's in these people's intimate space. You could, if the bubble were to pop on this image, you would feel the bubble, probably some of the spit and all the gunk and goo. You would probably feel some of that on your face because he's so close. And I appreciate it. You could even see the person's lips, I believe, right here, like a anus or a butthole right there. You can see that little hole there that's blowing the air inside of this bubble gum. And you see this guy, he has a small bubble. He can't even compete. But still, it's still a very, very good image. I like the composition, how it kind of has like a little Dutch angle. So it's kind of like, you know, that he caught this spontaneously. And for me, if I had to say out of the 5 elements, to me, the lighting, of course, is incredible. Now, we have to give Bruce some credit for using a flash so close to people and then still getting a decent exposure. I don't know if it's because that, you know, the film has such good highlight recovery and whatever, but whatever he's doing, maybe he just shot it so perfect. This image is perfectly exposed. You know, the background is black, but overall this image looks great with the lighting. The timing was great, clearly, because who knows, maybe 20 seconds later, this bubble or this, you know, bubblegum bubble would have popped. So timing was impeccable. The emotion, but the storytelling, I would like to know more about the storytelling, and the composition is pretty good. So it's not world class, but it's really good. So for me, I'd say the timing, the lighting and mood, and yeah, storytelling. Another one. I love this image. Look at him. Like, yeah, look at him. He's looking like, yeah, daddy, let me light this cigarette for you. Let me get you right. And he's looking in the camera. Look at that with the one squinched eye and the other eye open. He know he cool. You know, he got the bust down rollie on his on his wrist. He's a clean individual, and he has his friend or constituent or whatever you want to call it lighting his cigarette for him. Great image. And if I'm not surprised, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this image wasn't taken in America. I think this was taken in Japan. Don't let me misspeak because I don't know where all these images derive from. But great image, great exposure throughout the whole frame. If I had to say, I would say that this one is the timing. You can see the flick of the flame from the lighter, which is great. The lighting is okay. I love the emotion though. That's probably my favorite thing about this image, the emotion. Like he's serious. Look at his eyes. He's looking at that lighter like, I'm gonna get you right. And he's really lighting it in a really meaningful way. And then he's giving us full eye contact. So that makes it a very powerful image, right? The hands inside of the frame, even though he's close, to be able to get the elements of the hands in the picture, I appreciate that. So well done, Bruce. You don't need me to tell you well done, but very good. Another one. For me, I love, just for something about a good black and white portrait. And this one is another gentleman smoking a cigarette. And I love how the smoke is coming up. So the timing of the shot, he got it perfectly when the cigarette smoke is, you know, going into the air. So perfect timing on that. For me, I would probably have to say for this one is timing. I love the lighting and mood. And then even the composition. I like how this one isn't completely center frame. It's kind of off to the center. It looks like a snapshot in a way, but it's perfectly composed. Like, I wouldn't want to see any more of this gentleman. I wouldn't want to see his arms. I wouldn't want to see his legs. What he's giving me with just a cigarette that he's smoking and the smoke coming in the air, that's all I need. It does kind of lead me to wonder, like, who is this gentleman? And like something about this roof line is very interesting. I don't know. Maybe this smoke just here is just kind of leading my eyes to that top right corner, but I do like this image. And I like the contrast with the black and the white and the speckles here. So another great image from my man, Bruce. All right. Wow. To me, I love this one. Yes, for out of the 5 elements, this one to me probably would be storytelling. Because I want to know what happened to have him on the ground, like almost in a fetal position, in a public place. Like, I love, it's a juxtaposition between him being, if you just kind of split the frame in half, it's just him laying on the ground. Then the other half, it's a busy city street with dozens of people walking up and down the street, and no passerby that you see is looking at him. And maybe they were, but you just can't see it. So it just looks like he's just being forgot about in a way. So I love the storytelling on this image. I love the, I would say emotion expression. Because in America, at least recently, you can see a lot of homeless people just anywhere you go. I don't know if this gentleman is homeless, but the way he's laying on a busy sidewalk leads me to believe that he may not have a home. But it's something about this that just brings out like some kind of empathy for this gentleman, and amidst the chaos, right? There's a lot of chaos, but he's still laying down. So I love the juxtaposition between these two. Bruce clearly had to get down to take this picture, so he was involved in this frame in a real way. He stopped to take this image, so I appreciate this. I even appreciate how his hands are interlocked. Like that means something there too. It's not just a facade. Like he's really just trying to cover himself. It's like he's really in a protect myself state. So it's something about this image that I really do appreciate. And yeah, job well done. Wow. Now this is classic Bruce Gilden style, right? Up in your face with the flash. I'm capturing your emotion and expression. See, that's the thing about his stuff, is that there's so much emotion and expression because I'm literally right up on you. And there must be something that he's seeing as people are coming down the street that he's picking up on that's like, oh, this guy has an interesting face. I'm getting my camera ready, getting my flash ready. As soon as I get up on him, pow. And I'm not second guessing myself. I'm going for the shot. This guy, to me, he almost looks like, look at the skyscrapers to the left and to the right and behind the gentleman, the subject of the image. You see how the windows almost remind me of how his buttons go up. So in a way, he almost looks like another skyscraper. Does he not? But he's looking down, and the way his eyes and his expression is world class. And what's so beautiful about this is because to get this image, if you look at how Bruce Gilden takes his images on YouTube, you're gonna see how spontaneous they are. So I know that this image was taken within a split second. So the timing on this is great. The lighting and the mood is great. The emotion and the expression on this picture is great. I don't know if there's much story to be told about this image, if it's just a quick snapshot, but overall, a great image. I love the buildings in the back. I'm glad that he shot it vertical in this instead of horizontal, but maybe he could have shot it horizontal, but I think that the vertical, it makes, in my mind, I see the correlation between the buttons on the gentleman's jacket with the windows on the skyscrapers here. So just really good work. Really good work. Now I would say, if I were to make a critique, he can tell me about it, but I don't know if this lady in the back does anything for the image, but I don't think there's anything he could have did. And that's kind of the nature of the beast. Like, sometimes when you're doing street photography, there's nothing you can do. You can't control every single circumstance of who's in the background every single time. You'll miss a lot of shots if you try to focus on that. So I'm glad that you took this shot because this is a beautiful image. Let me double check to make sure my other camera's recording. We recording? Oh yeah. We live. So yeah, excellent. Moving on. Ooh, tripping. I love this one. Look at this. To me, if I had to say one of the 5 elements that stood out to me first, is storytelling. Why is he flexing his muscles at this time? Who is this gentleman here? He has scoliosis or whatever's going on. It's an older gentleman. And the younger gentleman here with the great physique, you see, like, it's a juxtaposition, old versus the more young and, you know, in the prime of his life. And you even see the people in the background here, which is great. They're getting a kick out of this just the same way we're getting a kick out of this. A classic image, the perfect timing, because what I imagine is Bruce just walking down the shore, walking along the shore, and he bumps into a scene. And that's a lot of times what happens. When you're doing street photography, you're just walking around and you kind of come across a scene. And that's what it looks like happened here. I don't know what the story is, but I would like to know what the story is. It's a beautiful image with the juxtaposition. If I had to say, though, out of my 5 elements, I would say I love the composition. It looks like we're operating, I would say rule of thirds, but maybe sort of, kind of. So, but I like the composition, but I really like the storytelling. I like the emotion that it brings out of me, because it makes me feel like, you know, maybe this guy's thinking, dude, when I was your age, I looked good too. And you better appreciate what you got while you got it, because eventually you'll be old like me. So, you know, I don't know what's going on, but overall, if I had to say, I love the storytelling of this image. I love the timing of this image. And yeah, job well done. Another great image by my man, Bruce. I love images where people are pointing. I found myself taking a couple pictures of people pointing, because you're showing me where you're leading my viewer to where the action is. Like, it makes me curious. Now, one thing I like about this image is that we get booty, we get breasts, we get gut, we get feet, but we don't get a lot of head and a lot of faces. We don't see any character of their full face, but it's still a beautiful street photography image. And where are they? Are they in the water here? Or they're near the water. Looks like they may be on a rock. But I just love how visceral and real this image feels. Like, I love the composition on this one, where you can even see this gentleman walking through the other gentleman's legs, right? You can see there at the beach. She's pointing at something clearly, like, look at the wave, look at that, this or that. And I just love it. I love that her face isn't showing, right? It really allows me to appreciate everything that she's bringing to the image on this left side of the picture here. So if I had to say my favorite elements, I love the composition, because it's almost giving me the Fibonacci. If you kind of imagine, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of giving me, it's a great composition. Don't let me beat a dead horse, but composition is great on this one. I would love to know what she was pointing her finger at. So storytelling is kind of like a slight element that I'm enjoying here. The timing is great. And then, of course, the lighting and mood. That's another thing that's probably underappreciated from Bruce's work, is that, yeah, we associate him with, you know, the pop flash or the flash, but he's nailing his exposures on a lot of these images. Like, nothing is overexposed. It's just perfect exposure. I don't know what to say. Oh, look at this. Now, this one for me, storytelling, emotion, expression, timing, the mood, the lighting, and a little bit of the composition, but definitely the storytelling on this image, the emotion, the expression. Look at this gentleman's face. If this is staged, they've staged this image better than any Hollywood actor. They could win an Oscar. They could win an Emmy, because he looks like he's being choked out by his necktie or a belt or something. He's getting jacked up. And this guy looks like, yo, are you taking a picture of me jacking him up? You mean jack you up next? So the timing, Sometimes you cannot, that's what I love about Bruce. He is not scared to take the image that he wants to get. I do not believe this image was staged. I don't know if it was staged or not, but I love, just look at their faces. Is this gentleman even alive at this point? He is being jacked up. So I want to know more about this image. The storytelling on this is great. The emotions on both the gentleman's face tell the story of this, to help tell the story of this image. And then of course the timing, the wherewithal to actually have your camera ready to capture this image in a way that's gonna allow us to go through it and, you know, give it its due credit today. Next picture. Another one. For me, this one is a composition one, right? Even though the subjects themselves, their bodies are on the left-hand side, I love how they're extending out to the right side of the frame. I love how Bruce did not just get their arms completely parallel in the frame to where you can't see the detail from each gentleman's hand. I love how you can see his little gun and you can see his ray gun, right? You can see both of them. We don't know where they're shooting it at. We don't know. So to me, this is a storytelling one. I love the composition on this one. I'd imagine this is maybe Halloween or some kind of holiday. But for me, this is very strong composition. And here's one thing, you guys. When we're trying to compose an image, we don't always have to focus on, I don't just like to have people on one side of my frame typically, but in this image he does it. But the reason that it works is because these guns are almost like another subject, because you want to know what, first of all, you want to know what it is, because this doesn't look like a normal gun. This is a sound phaser. And but you just want to look. So your eyes are attracted to the right side of the frame as well, even though the human subjects for the most part are to the left side of the frame. I love this image, right? So for me, the main element that I really rock with is composition and maybe storytelling. I think it was probably holiday or maybe Halloween or something like that. So I'm not too curious as to what happened, but they do have unique outfits on, and the fact that they were doing they're doing the same thing, but it just perfectly composed. So well done, Bruce, on this one. Wow. Do I have this one twice? I don't think so. Classic Bruce, you guys. I'm up in your face. I have the flash, and I don't care that I'm shooting my flash in your face within a few inches, a few feet, maybe not even a few feet, just 1 foot. He's very close. I love the Dutch angle. You see, I'm somebody that typically would always like to, in Lightroom, I always typically would like to, you know, auto straighten my photos, just because, like, I don't know, I just want to get my horizon straight. But some of my favorite photographers that I've recently been looking at, they don't give a damn about if the image is a little bit cropped or like the angle is off, because to them, if the subject is still strong, if the emotions is strong, you know, basically these 5 elements. If you have one of these 5 elements, it doesn't matter that your perspective is a little bit shifted, or if it's not completely level with the horizon. And this one, I think that actually adds to the image, right? You can clearly see that they're in New York City or some kind of city, but the exposure on her face is great. So I would say that the lighting and the mood of this one is great. The timing, the wherewithal to get this image from this older woman. Like, what did he notice about her from a distance that made him want to take a picture of her? Right? Because he had to see her coming, and then he got himself ready and took the shot. But what about it? To me, it's her eyes. Her eyes tell the story. She has those eyes that, like, look, she can just steal your soul. Like, she can just take your soul out of your body. But she almost looks disturbed. Like, how dare you get this close to me and take a picture? Right? So once again, Bruce is just honestly kind of showing off his skill and his courage, right? His courage to take the pictures that he wants. Like most people would not get this close to take a picture. I'm just calling a spade, right? Let's keep it moving. Oh. Only thing you see really is a hand, blood, and a knife. Visceral, right? The lighting and the mood. I don't know what's going on back here, but I see like the two lights on the ceiling here. Looks like, so there's definitely some stuff back here. He's somewhere where I think he's at a butcher shop or something, or wherever the cows get slaughtered or pigs get slaughtered. I love this image. Here you can see everything that you need to see, you can see. Everything you don't need to see, you don't see. It's almost like a scary movie. I'm only showing you what you need to see. You need to see this knife. That's what makes the image. The composition on this image is strong. The storytelling, the blood tells a story. What happened before this image? What happened? There's blood everywhere. There's blood everywhere. The emotion, blood brings out a certain emotion from us humans. We don't like blood. We're creeped out by blood. So that brings out a certain emotion of fear in me. The timing is great on this one because had he took this picture too soon, we might not get all this blood everywhere. I love this. And then the lighting and the mood. So this one is a strong image. Even though it seems simple, this is an image that will definitely stand out in a collection of images because it helps tell the story of what's going on. Here's another one. Now, this is one that I feel like a lot of street photographers can steal. There's a lot of times maybe parades going on. It could be a concert. I don't know what they're checking their pulse for. It could be a big clock up there they're looking at. They're checking their pulse, maybe check their blood pressure. I don't know what they're doing. But regardless, this is something that we can learn from, and it's done very, very well. Look how close he is. You know these people. When you're this close to somebody, you know them because we are in the personal space of the viewer. I love how close he gets. There's some Bruce Gilden quote, I don't know it specifically, but he says if the picture ain't good, it's because you're not close enough. You know what I'm saying? To summarize what he was saying. And he was close enough. I can almost touch the texture on this person's jacket right here on the left, and I can feel everybody's face. All these 5 gentlemen, I can feel their face. So it's almost a rule of odds again because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the main 5 people that we can see their face. I don't know. It's just something about it. And they look at him. He's looking up there like, what is it? But these people in the back, they're jovial. They're having a good time. They're not really worried about whatever these gentlemen are worried about. So for me, the composition is strong. And a lot of people might not like the Dutch angle here, but I do. I like it because it's raw. You know how he gets his images, so this is just a byproduct. Sometimes the horizon ain't gonna be straight. And sometimes when the horizon is straight, it might make it boring. So that's why it's important to study great photography because it'll allow you to open up your creativity to understand that things don't always have to be how you perceive them to be in your mind. Like you can do things like the greats to do it. The greats sometimes have a little shot that might have a little angle to it. But I love this image. I love this gentleman's eye. To me, if I had to say out of the 5 elements, for me, I'm going composition. I want to know the backstory on this, so storytelling. There's emotion that I'm curious about, especially this gentleman's face. Like, are they worried about whatever there is that they're looking at? The timing of it was fantastic, and then the lighting and mood. That's another thing. Like, he is coming up on these people with the flash. You have to be very careful when you get too close to people with the flash because we know about the inverse, I think it's called the inverse square law, whatever it is. Like, you have to be careful. It's easy to blow out an image, right? It's very easy to overexpose an image when you get close to people with the flash. But he's mastered his flash to where, yeah, this guy's a little bit more exposed than this guy, but they're both perfectly exposed, right? So knowing your gear, knowing your flash. I'm somebody that's been using a flash a lot more recently because I just like how it can make a scene out of no scene, right? At nighttime, the flash is super key, but Bruce is using this in the daytime, so I just like what he's doing here. This is a great image. Moving on. Composition, right off the bat. For me, this one is composition. I don't know how you can make a better composition. He's here on this side of the frame. She's there right on the right side of his cheek. And then here he is on the back side of her head. So there's like and then there's the rule of Oz, like we've discussed earlier. Let me make sure my camera's still recording. Okay. Okay. Yep, so we are still recording. But another one where I want to know where you're at. Are you at the same event that I took the last picture? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Or not where I took the last picture, but where the last picture that we saw, was this continuation of that? I do not know. I do not know where he took this image. I don't know anything, but I know that the composition on this image is strong. And I love the expression on this gentleman's face. Like he's not upset per se that Bruce is taking the image, but he's kind of like giving him like almost like a slight mean mug. But I just like how close he gets. Like, it's visceral. You can feel the people's emotions. You can feel their face. Like, when you're shooting from somebody from across the street, see, that's the thing a lot of us like to do with our street photography. And I challenge us to get out of that from time to time. It's okay to shoot street photography from far away, but it's also okay to shoot people close up, because that's how you can see. Like you can see the wrinkles in his forehead from him squinching up his face, right? But that's the reason why I like this image. So for me, this one is the composition, the emotion expression, the lighting is great, the timing is good, and the story. So this is another great image, right? And this is one of the images you look at, you're like, I don't even know why I like it, but I just like it, right? So another great image. Now this one is Bruce Gilden, y'all, please stop the video. Go follow him on Instagram. Show him some love, man, for real, because he's teaching us how to be more courageous in the streets. How many people out there are actually taking a picture of an old lady? Well, two women, you know what I'm saying? Who's doing this with the flash? Like, bro, it's such a good image. The expression on this one. Let's just start with that. Both of them have you couldn't pay for a better expression. A perfect expression, the surprised face, like, oh my God. It makes you want to know what's going on in front of them that has their face like that. Is it Bruce that's popping the flash in their face? What is it? So it's the storytelling on this one. It's the composition on this one. You know what I'm saying? I guess another thing that I'm really starting to realize is that I need to just stop worrying about always trying to get my pictures 100% straight. Because when you do that, you are missing out on the opportunity to get all of the, when you start cropping, her face won't be in the image. Like, I don't know, dog. This is such a good image though. Just the flash to where now they're perfectly exposed. Both of them have a great expression on their face. The timing on it, like I said, the lighting and mood is great. And then the composition is strong, right? And it looks like he shot this maybe like at a 30th of a second shutter speed, because it's a lot of motion blur. But you can tell he still used the flash here. You can see the light here hitting, bouncing off of her jacket. Man, this dude is a legend. Next. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. This looks like artwork. This is artwork. Y'all want to put in the hard work? You put in the hard work, that's how you get artwork. Okay, so this looks like artwork. I love how this gentleman is like, what's going on? Why are their eyes closed? This is a good image, y'all. I didn't even notice this lady right here. All this is blurry. What is this stuff? What is this? And then why can I see her so good? Why are his eyes closed? Why are her eyes closed? She's smoking something, but there's some kind of liquid going down her breast. So it's like, it's a lot of elements that make me just think, oh, this is a good image. This is an image where even today, 2025, I'm scrolling on Instagram with the abundance of stuff that there is to see. This is an image that I will stop on. It's like, yo, what is this? Like, and if this was, what is it called? A carousel of images, I would want to keep swiping through the carousel because I'm so intrigued by what I see here. So the composition on this one is strong, right? The storytelling, I want to know the story behind everything that's going on in this image, right? The emotion and the expression is great on all their faces, right? Look at her face. She almost looks kind of disgusted, but they look like they're in a trance. The lighting and the mood, the timing of it. Another thing too is that in Bruce was shooting a lot of vertical style images. There wasn't no Instagram. You see what I'm saying? Like, so he just knew that me shooting it vertical was going to be better than me shooting it typical, like how most people shoot it horizontal. I mean, yeah, horizontally. Just a really good image. Well done, y'all. He different. All right. Another one. Looks like we back at the slaughter. We have the pigs here that have been slaughtered. What makes this one interesting, I think the reason why I chose this one is because look at these cows. I mean, not cows, these pigs. These pigs in the back are standing up on their 4 feet. So they're still alive. Now these ones are dead. So it's like, do these ones know what's going on? Do they even know that they could potentially be next or not? So I have a lot of questions. I want to know the backstory. I love how, like, I don't know where this was taken. I like how it just looks so random. I love the textures in the back here. So I know that's not one of the things on my elements, but I love the texture in the back because it looks so painterly. I don't know how he did that where a lot of the foreground looks so, I guess it's just his aperture that he's using, but at the depth of field looks, how it just kind of gets blurry in the back, but in here it looks so crisp. Let's tell the story. Like, you know, we may feel bad for the pig, but hey, pigs are being eaten left and right. But overall, it's just a great image. If I had to say though, I love the composition because almost every single angle of this image, there's something that brings me in. The pigs here, all the way to he really works the edges and the corners of his frame. I like that. I love the knife here, the bottom left, right? You got another pig at the bottom right, and you swoop your way up and up here. There's another gentleman helping along with the slaughter. And maybe they're just cutting up the pig, getting ready to send it over to family members or whatever. So another great image. Next. Timing, right? The way this guy is looking back over his shoulder. Look at the expression. Look at all the expression on his face. He's looking back like, who that? Like, you know, there's a lot of expression on this gentleman's face. Expression is important in street photography because that's what draws the viewer in, right? We don't connect with a face looks like this, but we will connect with a face look like this, or a face that looks like. So for him to be able to capture the expression here with the dog that's seemingly walking himself down the street without no lead, without no leash. Once again, Bruce didn't crop the image to try to make everything all straight. It's just how it is. Boom. I'm shooting it fast. Got the flash. Boom. I'm doing it and it's quick and it looks good. Like perfect timing. He's close enough here where I can get all the expression of this gentleman. I still can see the dog here. The dog really fills in this gap. Like, I still think this would be a strong image without the dog, but the dog just adds in an extra layer of curiosity, which adds to the storytelling of the image. Like, whose dog is this? Why is there a dog in the street? Looks like what is he pushing, his work cart? Looks like that says Coca-Cola. So, but it just really makes you wonder, right? What's going on? So for me, I say the composition is strong on this one, the storytelling, and then the emotion expression, especially coming off the gentleman's face, along with the timing. So another great image. Is it starting to make sense how Bruce is a Magnum photographer? Hopefully it is. Next image. What do you think they're looking at, y'all? What do you think it is they're looking at? They're looking down at something. It looks like they're at a funeral. I'm pretty sure they're at a funeral on this one. But I just see one thing that a lot of people are scared to do is stick somebody in the corner of a frame. You do not need to have every single person's full body or torso or whatever. Him just having this gentleman's face in the corner with the lip, you can see the lip, you can see the little bit of furrow in the eye. These people, not one single person up here looks happy. Who looks happy? Nobody. But these two gentlemen on here help tell the story. It will still probably be a good image without these two gentlemen, but they help add to the image. They fill in some of the blank space and they help tell the story. Now this little girl, She's kind of put perfectly on the, is that the, what is that called? The golden ratio. She's almost perfect on that golden ratio, especially him. And he's actually, I think he's giving us eye contact. He's looking right into Bruce's camera. So to me, just a good image. On one of those storytelling, it looks like they're probably talking or looking down at a casket or something about to get lowered into the ground. But the emotion, expression on this one, the composition is great. And then, of course, timing is great. So this is another great image. Let me double check my time. Gotta make sure my camera ain't dying. Hold on. Oh yeah, we Gucci. We Gucci. So I think this image went along with the other image. So, but I remember why I chose this one. It's mostly because of composition and the reflection. Gotta ahead of myself. The reflection. So without this reflection here, you can assume that they're at a funeral maybe. But this, you look at this reflection here that's in the mirror. Excuse me. Now you can clearly see they're at a cemetery, right? So this is, you can see why the somber faces are there. So for this one is, I wish reflection was one, but that's not an element. I would say that the composition is great, and then the timing is the expression and emotion, because it's a funeral, so it's a good image. Classic Bruce, classic Bruce, classic Bruce. And maybe he, maybe I'm starting to think, maybe he took a lot of pictures of these older people because he knew, what is an old lady really gonna do to me? She ain't gonna really do nothing to me. She ain't gonna hit me or nothing. Even if she do, it ain't gonna hurt. So maybe that's why he took pictures of older people. I think this is an older lady here. I don't know what she has in her hand. Maybe she has a dog on a leash. She has her newspaper in her hand. So I love the composition. Like, he cut her off at her head. I don't see her forehead. And you see, I'm the type of person personally where I would like to see the full head. Studying Bruce, you don't need the full head to get a good picture. I don't need that. Like, I can just see with your tongue out, like you're exhausted. Whatever you're doing, you're probably tired, but look like you're in your neighborhood. To me, this is just a great image. If I had to say, the composition, because I'm glad he doesn't cut off this lead here, this leash, because this helps tell the story. What is below here? This would get your viewer to like, oh, I want to swipe. I want to keep on seeing what's going on in this picture because there's something down here, right? Is it a purse? Is it a dog on a leash? What is it that you're holding? She has a newspaper. So, but overall, it's just a beautiful picture. And for him to have taken it with the flash up close, within a few inches, few feet, you can't really have many critiques. Another one where I think the composition is strong. It looks like this says F-U. F-U-C-K-U. You. Right? You can see his eye on the top right corner. See his buddy's eye on the bottom left. How many people do you see post a picture like that? Not many. Very unique. Most people, they get a picture like this, they're gonna try to either turn it a little bit so you can get his whole face. You might still get his hand, but you wanna get his whole face. That's probably what I would have done. But he shot it in a way that I can get this gentleman here, that leads to a little bit of curiosity, right? I still get the hand here. And then I get like the nonchalant in his eye. Look at the eye. Looks like he's high off of marijuana. Like he's chill. He chilling. So if I had to say, for me, the composition is strong, right? I want to know the story behind the image. Was it a snapshot? Did he say something to these gentlemen? The emotion expression, even though I cannot see this gentleman's face, I know that his face matches the vibe of a person that would put you on their knuckles, right? The timing, excellent, clearly. And then, yeah, the lighting is just good as normal, good as usual. All right. Wow. Okay. You know, I really like this one. I think right off the bat, I would have to say composition. Every portion of this image has something that kind of helps tell the story. They're both smoking a cigarette, but you got the cigarette box here. This dog, like he's ready to fight, but who? But who are you ready to fight? Are you ready to play? What's going on with this dog? This cow, full of milk, and look, there's another cow behind that one. So where are they headed? You know? And then you can see these people here. I can't see their face because on my screen it's blocked off. But to me, this is a complete image. It's full. He looks kind of like, bro, I'm done for the day, bro. Then you can't tell me to do nothing else for today. I'm done. I'm calling it a quits. So, and then he's telling him some kind of crazy story, like, bro, can't you believe that this happened, dude? Like, he's telling him a really interesting story, right? Or telling him something that he's kind of pondering. Like, yeah, I hear you, I hear what you're saying. Oh, you know, young blood, but let's just enjoy our cigarette. I don't really want to talk too much because I know we gotta get back to work and milk these cows. You feel me? So I like this image a lot. Let's move on to the next. Look at this. Come on. Emotion, expression, the timing, right? The storytelling. I would never let another gentleman, especially not this big and with teeth like that. My teeth ain't great. But you think I'm going to let somebody put their fingers, they nasty, dirty fingers up my nostrils, and then they got their other big fat fingers pulling my lips down? No, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. But whoever this gentleman is, let it happen. And he's kind of chill. Like maybe he's just so submissive because this gentleman is so big. He's so big and so, I don't know, but is he happy? I don't know. Is he trying to show his teeth that he has some implants here in his mouth? This image makes me want to ask questions, right? As a photographer, you don't want your image, you don't want every time that somebody sees your image for them to get it instantly. You want them to have questions. To me, that's what makes a great image. And when I see this, I have questions. Like, it's a great image, it's a good portrait, but I want to know more about this gentleman here. Why does he have his fingers in his nostrils? You see, so the lighting and mood is good. I can just say almost lighting and mood on all of them because he knows what he's doing when it comes to lighting, okay? He knows how to create a mood from the lighting as well. The timing on this one is great, but mainly is the emotion, expression, and the storytelling. Let's move on. A color one. This is our first color one. So, we may think that most black and white photographers don't know what to look at when it comes to color, but Bruce still does. The way that he contrasts the yellow and the green on the wall with this man's green suit. I don't know if he asked the gentleman for a shot, but regardless, this image is powerful. It almost looks like AI art. It looks so good. It's just such a good, strong portrait. I have really no critiques. It's just you can see so much expression on this old man's face. He's lived a life, yet he still takes the time to put himself together with a nice, beautiful forest green, suit with the matching tie, perfectly contrasting with the, perfectly complementing the wall in the back with the yellow. This is one where I would say if there was a sixth element, I would say that would be color. And that's where he really showed his on this one. Like the lighting on this one is good, of course. The timing, but I would say for the main thing for me is the emotion, the composition is strong, and the storytelling, because I just want to know what else is going on in this image. Wow. Classic Bruce, right? In your face, pop. I know why you want to take this one because her hair kind of looks a mess, but she has on her fur, she has on her chinchilla. And look at the expression on her face, right? She's the type of woman that where, she's not letting her age define what she can and cannot wear. She's a sophisticated lady. It doesn't matter if I'm having a bad day. I'm still going to put that stuff on and make me feel good. And Bruce was able to capture that. So for me, this one is emotion expression, right? The timing, and then last but not least, the lighting and mood, because I do think that it's important to get context. It's not much context you can get, but you know they're in a city. You can see the reflections of a building here in this building. You can see some other buildings here. So it looks like they're in a major city. So I like this image because of the lighting, the mood, the timing is great, obviously, the emotion and expression, and then the composition. So this is a great image. Boom. So that's the last image for today. I think yes, that's it. So that is all of the images. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Photo Study. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to show me the most support, subscribe, because subscribing makes me feel like I'm doing something right. Like you want to watch more of my stuff. Like you want to make sure you want to watch my stuff. So, and I want to help you guys as much as I can. Now, in the future, I know I've spoken this in past episodes, but I would love to have another voice come on the show to help me, talk through some of these images. So if you are that person, please just put yes down in the comments and I will hit you up, because I respond to every comment. To the best of my ability, I will respond to every comment. So if you just put yes down below, that would mean that yes, you wouldn't mind me contacting you to potentially be on another episode or the next episode of Photo Study. So guys, please go out there and shoot some more photography. Take what you've learned today from Bruce Gilden and apply that to your photography. Now, closing remarks. If I had to say, what did I learn from Bruce? What did I learn from Bruce from doing this photo study and just studying his work over the last little bit? And that would be to get close to your subject, right? Like he said, like I was telling you earlier, if the photo isn't good, it's probably because you're not close enough. When you get close enough to somebody, you can really feel their energy, because it's like your face, your eyes, your smile, this is where the human experience starts, in the face. So the closer you can get to seeing more of your face, that's when you can really start feeling the image. So that's something that Bruce does. He's also taught me to be more courageous, right? 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, most people aren't gonna say anything, even if you shoot a flash in their face. How do I know? Because I've been doing it recently. I've shot a flash in people's face. People don't even really care. So you can shoot the flash in people's face. It's not that big of a deal. I know some of y'all gonna chew me out below. It is what it is, but I appreciate what Bruce has brought to the table. And if you appreciate what he's brought to the table, please give him a subscribe. Tell him that I sent you, okay? Go look at his other work. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for you guys. I thank you so much for locking in with me and watching this photo study. So please give me a like, comment, tell me what your favorite image is, and then subscribe. Other than that, I will see you good people in the next video. Peace.
Misunderstanding in this world.